game.
Whew, people are getting paid left and right.
Man.
Jared Goff, the newest member of the $200 million club. 212 over 4 years. That's, I think, where we got to begin the crossover. Mark Willard, Dan Dibley. With
Marin
David Johnson. What's up?
Shout out Cal Berkeley.
Well, and, quietly, he may or may not owe me a good piece of that because and I don't even know if you know the story, Evan, but back in the day, this was back when you were doing nights, Guru, with
I remember.
With Zechariah.
Yeah, no doubt. Slenderbrook.
Yeah. All right, whatever.
Well, he's still around.
He sure is. Darn it, he sure is.
Shout out.
Yeah.
Willard's like, what's going on?
We had a field trip. It was a Martin Luther King Jr. birthday Warrior game, and we all had a field trip.
Oh.
And we went out there, and JT the Brick, who is no longer on the station,
Vegas.
He had a nice 10-month run.
Still with us.
Exactly. RIV, rest in Vegas. And he actually was, we met him in the bar, the old BMW club at Oracle, and the credit card was out. And so he's buying drinks for everybody. And, your boy, I like a free drink. And so I'm about 7 deep, and I look over and I see Jared Goff. And so I walked over and I said, "Hey, Jared, it's Dan Dibley. I went to Marin Catholic." And I did the recreation, which, has lived in infamy. But I told him, hang in there, big guy. There'll be brighter days ahead.
Oh, boy.
And here we are. And Mark said this to me on the walk earlier.
Yep.
These are the brighter days that were ahead. And here they are.
Yeah, that news broke, and I just looked at him and I go, "You were right." That's all I can say.
There were brighter days ahead.
There were brighter days ahead, although
my God.
I don't know that Jared was in a state of clinical depression when you were talking to him. Something tells me maybe no. But,
he was a little bit on the ropes. And he was by himself in the BMW club, and I walked up to him, and he looked at me, and I could tell that he was in need, not of a closer,
BMW
but he was in need of somebody to pick him up.
Well, I wonder
Totally.
if at the press conference he'll name you and be like, there was this guy back in the BMW club
Dude,
that really gave me
7 years ago.
Yeah, it gave me the pep talk that I needed.
Yeah.
I just think it's funny when we shout out Marin Catholic as if it's like, man, from the humble beginnings of, but Marin Catholic. Actually, not that humble beginnings, but yeah, but
Right.
good
Life's
for him.
good. Yeah.
Life has always been good.
And the real humble,
life was good. Then it was
Then it got
better.
better.
Well, now it's great.
and the real humble beginnings are the fact that his dad was a pro athlete.
Yeah.
Jerry Goff, who, and he grew up with all of us over in Marin. So
Look at my
I knew
guy.
Jerry as a kid. And he's the same age as my brother Doug. So, damn, he's got to be 60 now. But when you have a dad who is an elite athlete, that kind of helps.
Bronny James on line one. I went in, but I didn't go in on the kid personally. But
No,
on
I heard
the Guru
it. I heard
computer,
it. Yeah.
I got $200 million at least for Brock Purdy if he just is the Brock Purdy we saw the last guy. 200 waiting on you, kid.
He's cheering.
Probably.
He's cheering.
Yeah, probably. What was the non-guarantee on this? 212?
Yeah.
Yeah.
53 per.
This conversation's over now.
53.
The whole, would you give Brock 50? Well, if you're giving Jared Goff 53, then
No doubt.
you're giving Brock more.
And Dibs asked, where did we have Goff as a top quarterback? Top 10, 12?
Good player.
Sign of the times.
Listen to my
Yeah.
tone.
Shout out Prince.
Good player. He's a good player.
Nice little player.
He's a good player.
Been to a Super Bowl.
Like, nobody's losing their mind over Jared Goff when he's
I'm
coming to
losing
town.
it over 170 for Jared Goff.
But, I
Who's a
mean,
damn good quarterback, but you're not the best.
Deshaun Watson's getting 235.
I forgot that one.
And he's not Jared Goff right now. Not even close.
Man.
So,
Well, they got better when they got Joe Flacco. Think
did.
about
No,
that.
Joey.
They did.
Deshaun out, Flacco in, and you
Yeah,
got better?
and they got better.
Wow.
Yeah. Although he threw a lot of interceptions. That was kind of fool's gold.
Flacco?
A little bit.
The Flacco thing was a little fool's gold.
Yeah.
I look at this is a fun prediction. 3 years from now, C.J. Stroud gets what?
Boy.
$300 million.
I was going to
All
stop
guaranteed.
I was going to say
Over 2 years.
255.
I mean, really now.
We're going there, right?
70? 70 a year?
Yeah.
Well, Burrow makes the most non-guaranteed 63. Is that his per year?
No, I don't think that. Burrow? 63?
I thought it was in the 60s. I could be wrong, but
I thought that it was like...
High,
He has the most guaranteed, though.
He has the highest 3-year AP. Yeah, Average per year, 62.9.
5,275 is what I'm looking at. Annual basis of 55 a year for Joe Burrow.
Over 5 years. I'm just looking at the first 3.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but 5 years, 275. That's what the Bengals have control of. So annual is 55 per year.
Not too bad.
For Burrow.
I mean, I think also the 170, the guaranteed money, is also probably the baseline for Purdy as well. I mean, it's about 42.5, but if you're Purdy right now, you're sitting there thinking, yeah, this is good. Like, it's pretty good, but this is where the negotiations start. Anytime we have a conversation beyond this year, it's, okay, take Jared Goff, and then we can move up, depending on what happens this season. Yeah, I don't think he really needs to have a spectacular top 5 MVP season to even ask for that at this point.
I don't think the Niners are in a space of arguing it either, by the way.
Chad Jordan, a couple months ago, is going to reset the market.
People are like, why would you say that? Because it's just what it is. You're not going to hide from it. Are you going to hide from it? Let's see if Brock doesn't notice that he's any good and that these other guys are all making 50 to 60 a year. Hopefully he's got an agent. I know he looks like Milk and Cookie Monday, but no, he's a football player. Got a dog in him. He's got an agent. He's got parents. He's got a girl. He's got he's aware.
And got a payday coming.
He is aware.
You stay upright, it's Benjamin's.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, there's no way around it. So,
well, it's interesting because we all shared on our thread the highest paid wide receiver room in the NFL. I think Grandy actually put it out first or whatever, Lucas and whatnot. And the Niners are number 1 in wide receiver room, how much they're making. And so as we talk about like the future of Brock Purdy, if Brock Purdy's going to suddenly get 50 or 55 a year, what does that room look like?
Well, that
one less person.
Yeah, probably, but it's a little quirky too because that was based on cap hit, and Debo's cap hit right now is
28, right?
Monstrous, and it would be much, much less next year. Like, for instance, the quirks of that list, the Eagles were 19th in wide receiver room money.
But how can that be?
Exactly.
Cap hit. Yeah.
So it's all based on
okay.
It's not just based on the contract, it's based on the timing of it. Because if you're the Niners are number 1 and you're like, they haven't even signed the Ayuk extension yet. So where are they going to be like super duper steroid 1 if they give Ayuk an extension? Maybe. Or maybe Debo's got 1 more year.
Right.
And then it resets a little bit.
Either way, it was interesting. Like Guru brought up something that I think Kawakami had taken.
Oh, kind of shocked me.
Yeah, had taken a pulse of, which was the fact that not many teams appear to be close to a championship. And it sounded like he included the Niners.
Yes, sir.
So,
and I was like, oh, hold on, because to me, that's where I got the car parked for the Niners. Like, that's what I think of their roster and what they're going to do.
Kawakami said the Niners are not close to a championship?
No, he said no team in the Bay Area, citing that, the Warriors weren't in the playoffs. And right now, on his radar, I'm paraphrasing, no team was ready for a title.
Does he mean in calendar year 2024?
I read it as maybe the Niners aren't. I read it as maybe he doesn't think that they're closer than they were last year. I mean, you could say
I don't know how you could be closer than they were last year without actually being.
You had it. Yeah.
You're
in overtime.
You're in overtime of the Super Bowl. So, yeah, I'd have to look at it. But obviously the 49ers are knocking on the door of a championship.
No
That's not.
I think they're the only team that really has a seat at the table.
Niners, Chiefs, and whoever you want to put as your third, I'll be okay with it.
I mean, the Giants could be close to a championship in Sacramento with all these guys. Once they all go back down to Sac, Schmidt and Matos and Ramos. I mean, they're going to look good in Sacramento here in about a month.
Though? I'm sorry, I watched that game Juice yesterday. Does Ramos look overwhelmed? And I know it's early, but it's like, where was the kid at? But. Well, I'm not happy anybody got hurt, but now you got them all up at one time.
Casey Schmidt coming up in 15 minutes, by the way.
By the way, is that exciting to you?
I swear, I would rather watch something not fail. I would rather, if I'm going to get the same return, ROI, return on investment, from Casey Schmidt than I am Chapman, give me Schmidt all day, because I can trick myself into saying there's not a large sample size, or go to Chapman's years and see, you know what you're going to get, good or bad. Give me the newness, the possibilities.
I may well just be completely myopic here, but I am always scratching my head when I hear actual fans of a team. And I know you're a Pirate fan.
Go ahead.
But you see it, you watch it, you're in. Like when I see a fan go, because the Warriors fans have done this too. Just play the young people.
See, I'm not.
I don't ever understand that at all.
Steiny.
Like, I grew up, that's what you do at the end of the year when it's over.
And you stink.
Right. I don't understand that. Like, as a concept, I don't understand it. Because to do that in the month of May would suggest you're white flagging it already. And I'll be the guy, I'll take
you've
this
been hard
label.
on them.
I will be the idiot who still thinks it's not over. Why are you giving up after 42 games?
They got 120 left.
No, they're not that good. But it's 42 games. And you want to just hand out River Cats jerseys? For what? Why? I know you're like, well, so they can develop and so we can see them. Well, first off, if you want to see them, Highway 80 is right there.
Evan I
okay?
Yeah,
It's
shout out to
right
Causeway.
there. Okay? So you can do that. But you're giving up.
No,
Why are you giving up already? We're not there yet. I mean, now, there are individual conversations. Why would you not bring up Ramos and you're pounding your head against the wall with Slater?
Yeah, no doubt.
Okay, fine. Let's have that convo. But this catch-all.
No, it's not over.
I'm like,
now.
give up.
Yeah.
Just call them all up. Send everybody who's making money down.
See, I never said it to that. That's extreme.
No, but there's a lot of that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that.
I would say that's wrong.
From people who I consider actual fans of the team.
Yeah.
I'm like, on May 13th?
No, that's wrong.
You just want to
think that's
shut
wrong.
this down?
Yeah.
This is actually potentially a real blessing in disguise, especially for those of you who want to play the youngs. Here we are. Not because
they have no choice.
Not because they turned their back on the signings, but because they're all hurt. They're all hurt. So here come the kids. But, enjoy it while it lasts. They're not staying.
Even if they ball out, like, that's what I was asking Evan. Like,
there's not enough room.
You think Soler is going to be ready and they're like, stay there.
Now,
Ramos
the politics,
is hot.
because they paid them, supersede.
Not even
if
just
they
politics.
wanted to.
Like, he's a big leaguer.
The money.
He hits 35 home runs sometimes. Like, it's just not, we're not there yet. There's so much time.
So would you talk to all the newbies, the youngsters, put them in the room and say, you know what? As good as you guys ball, you're going back on 8.
Well, they know.
Okay,
that's the reality of it.
Force your way up.
Yeah.
I think that's always part of baseball.
Because you can be on the roster, not start every day.
That's true.
But if you're a young person, you don't want to have them up here and have them not play every day.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco. Always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch and YouTube, powered by First NorCal Credit Union. This is the crossover. And did you know it's tick season? Lyme disease is transmitted through the bite of infected ticks. Visit ATCO Pest Control's website today to learn more and take control at atcopestcontrol.com. I think ideally you find something or someone that you would like to keep around, but to ask, 3 or 4 young guys to just supplant what is supposed to be everyday starters or DHs, however you want to slice it, I think is unrealistic. I mean, ideally, this is where you find out how good not the next wave is, but injuries are going to happen in baseball. Whether someone misses 2 weeks or 2 months, you are going to need these players again, probably later on this season. So if they play well, for example, in this series against the Dodgers, I would feel confident that if, Lee's going to have to miss an extended period of time, which it looks that way, then at least we're not taking a massive step back at his position, and you're not feeling like you have to completely recalibrate, for example, your order to try and find a new leadoff hitter, and then that means you got to find a new 9-hole guy. It would make me feel better about those kind of conversations.
I just think we're also acting like these guys haven't been given a chance, and they've gotten a lot of at-bats. Matos was up a ton last year. Casey Schmidt came up and caught the whole fan base for 2 weeks. And he couldn't hit again for 3 months. I mean, I want to ask him today. We're going to ask him this year in 8 minutes. Like, I want to know how that experience, how he feels it affected him.
He said it after the game yesterday.
Yeah, like
he brought it up, though, and I said he ain't forgot that.
Of course not. Of course not. Like, I mean, that's the whole, like, that's the thing that I think teams are looking at sometimes when fans are like, well, just call him up. It's like, well, you do have to pick your spot on that, because you can damage them if they come up and they can't hit and their confidence goes south. You got to be ready for the big job when you get it.
Yeah, and he's bounced back nicely this year with what he's done in Sacramento. And, I know he struggled here early on in his recall, but and we'll ask him about the big hit yesterday and the walk-off.
It was a big one.
It was a huge one, not only for the team, but for him as well, because that's the knock that he was waiting for. Was he 0 for 10 before that?
Couldn't believe the pitcher.
I think 11.
11, yeah.
That part of the plate.
He had whacked a couple balls yesterday, right at people.
Baseball.
But yeah,
that's
he was
baseball.
0 for 11.
Yeah, so nice little eruption for him. And I'm curious to see how they look over these next 3 games with the young guys. And, I was trying to share my thoughts on the thread, and it's hard to really put that into a text and, back and forth. And I'm chasing after the baby and all that. But I do think that this is a big series for Farhan. Not that they have to win these games. They don't have to beat the Dodgers. They don't have to win the series. But how do these guys look in the big moment? And it's a small sample and all the rest of it, but I don't want to see any of the young people come in here and be overmatched.
Yeah, no doubt. But what if they show promise? Are we going to double back on Farhan and say, well, what? You had all this? Why did you go spend on the credit card? Why didn't you empower them to, I was asking Evan today, what's the win or lose for him? Because if they don't ball out, then you made the right decision because they weren't ready. But if they, just real quick here, Matos or Ramos, if they ball out, and no shade at Slater, wouldn't you want to rather be a part of the 40-man than go down and play every day in AAA? Wouldn't you want to have that Slater spot? Wouldn't that be growth if you're one of them youngsters?
Are you asking, do they want to be here? Of course they want to be here.
No. But is it realistic to think they could supplant what a guy Slater struggling?
It's not unrealistic.
Okay.
It's not unrealistic.
Not everybody get a spot, but one.
But I would argue, where's Slater at? 40 at-bats? How many at-bats?
It's about right, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got a hard time believing the organization has put damn near a decade into this guy.
Right.
And after 40 at-bats, they're going to be like, we're out. We're done. We didn't like the way that you started your first 40 at-bats when we never faced any lefties. It's not making excuses for him. I just don't think the organization's going to do that.
And I love Wilmer Flores, but I just hate seeing lineups where he's the 4-hitter. It's not his fault. You know what I mean? It's like, damn.
Totally. That's what, was it Eric Carroll?
Damn. Evan, 4, Flores, and I love him, but come on.
Last year or the year before, it was a national game on the weekend in San Diego. And Karros was like,
I like you.
Like Wilmer Flores is a good player. Like that, he can't be your third hitter. That can't be your third hitter.
Yeah.
He's not even an everyday player. He's not.
Yeah. And you've got him in the heart of your order.
Right.
Exactly.
Because you have to put him there.
Right. And then you went and got guys that you thought you were going to put there, and now they're all hurt / underperforming.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
it's not been a good lineup.
I think that's the bigger issue, and I hope someone like Schmidt in a couple minutes can also, speak to, I don't know, to me, it's not necessarily about the series, and I mean, you'd love to beat the Dodgers, but moving forward, it's about taking series. I know that yesterday was maybe made some people feel weird because they were down, but you took 2 of 3 from the Reds. That's a series you have to win. You took 2 of 3 from the Rockies. That's a series you have to win. After that, you get the Rockies again.
And Pirates.
You got to continue to win series.
Right.
It's not just, all right, can we string 6 in a row together?
I hear you. But they haven't won 3 in a row all year. Here's another crack at it.
This stupid series. I hate I hate the fact that they're at home against the Dodgers. We haven't even started yet, and I bet most Giants fans are like, dude, can we get one?
One, exactly.
Can we get one?
I said just don't get swept. Worst case scenario.
I hate it.
You got Casey Schmidt coming.
Casey's coming up.
Yeah,
he's got to be in a good mood, too.
Well, we're looking forward to hearing that. And we got to cut this short. But thank you, boys.
We'll be listening.
Talk to you tomorrow with Steiny on 95.7 The Game. Willard and Dibs with Casey Schmidt.